Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Living Astrology with Janet Hickox. Grab your cup of coffee or your tea, sit back and relax, and let's chat about what is happening up in the sky above our heads for today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Today, we, of course, are excited because we have the new moon gracing us with its appearance at 1:23, I think it is this afternoon, 1:43, excuse me, my time, and that means 4:43 for those of you on the East Coast. The new moon will be at 4 degrees of Aquarius, and it is an energetic one as it is involved with Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius. So we have surprises, we have the expectation of the unexpected, and we are also looking ahead at a weekend that sees Uranus as a major player, not only because of the new moon, but in a square to the moon as time goes on. And also as we move through the weekend, we have some really good energy for creativity and for getting along with one another. So it would appear that we are in for a highly energetic, yet a fairly nice weekend, as long as we can avoid a couple of obstacles. And of course, I'm going to let you know what those are this morning. Now, just a quick word, there are a few of you who have recently requested your Astrology for 2020 reports. I will get to those today, likely not until afternoon my time. I've got a lot of things to do this morning right after the show, and then I will get to your report. So don't despair. Your report will be coming to you, and today is the last day to do that. You know, it doesn't take me a lot of time to do a report, but it does take me a lot of brain power, and I've had several of you in this last week that have requested that. Thus the reason why I'm giving you a cutoff date, because it makes it hard for me to focus on other things that I need to get done as well. So if you are out there listening and you've yet to take me up on that offer and you want to do that, today is your last day. And also, I keep failing to mention this, but along with your report comes also the opportunity to engage in a discounted Astrology for 2020 reading. I'm going to post that link up today. You don't have to get the report to get the reading, but it's nice to have them both because then you have something in your hand that's workable. In the reading, we've been going through the eclipses for the year, Mercury retrograde for the year, Venus retrograde and what she means in your chart, Mars retrograde for the year, the Jupiter-Saturn Pallas Athena conjunction and where she is in your year, and what is it that the Jupiter conjunct Saturn conjunction at the end of this year will mean for you as you move forward. So there's a lot in the reading that you can't really glean from the report, although all of that energy is still there, or all of that information, excuse me, is still in your report. You would just have to know how to pull it out, I think. The report works really good for those people who want to keep up to date with what's going on day by day. And also when I'm talking about something in your chart or something that's in general, like for example, today's new moon in Aquarius, the report also comes with your natal birth chart so that you can track where is that in my chart. So it's all inclusive. It's really, really a good report. I did one even for myself, so I have that. Even though I see it every morning because the calendar I draw from is my personal calendar. And so take me up on that offer. This is your last day to do that, but it will be later this afternoon that I get those out to you. And if I get bombarded by a bunch of you today, then it might take me through the weekend to get those out to you. So don't despair. I will get them. I am getting your messages that you need them. In fact, on today's list, Val Johnson, Angela Mather-Keel, and Vicky Pedroncelli. So I have you three on my list. It won't be until probably noonish that I get to that though. Okay. Let's get back to the astrology and say good morning to everybody. In fact, I see Vicky out there. Good morning to you, Jacqueline Lopez. And Angela, good morning to you. Monique Alexander, good morning. Colleen and Debbie Hedden have just joined us. Good morning. And happy new moon to you as well, Jacqueline. Colleen says good morning. Patricia Woods, good morning. Yay, I actually see you. Huh, how about that? Tom, oh my goodness, a brilliant day. All here. We are at the great comfy couch. That's too funny. Judy Wheeler, good morning. And great to see all of you out there up and at 'em this morning. So I'm wondering, how is everybody feeling out there? Because this morning I woke up and I was receiving waves of nausea, just one after the other. And I'd have to sit down even because I was just being hit with all of these waves of energy that were coming through. And I guess about an hour ago, it actually stopped, and I'm feeling pretty good now. But I feel like it was probably waves of collective anxiety, perhaps Uranus and as the ruler of Aquarian energy is kind of stirring that pot in the collective, and I was just at the receiving end, or I was tuned in somehow to that. So definitely I'm feeling better now, but that anxiety was definitely there this morning, or I think it was probably something related to that. So a couple more thoughts about the sign of Aquarius and its ruler, the planet Uranus. This is progressive energy. So when we're talking about progressive energy versus conservative energy, remember we've had Saturn and Pluto and now Jupiter and Pallas Athena and Ceres, and Mercury and Venus and Mars will go there eventually. We've had them all moving through the very conservative energy of Capricorn. The next landing place for all of that energy then is in Aquarius. The straggler in Capricorn will be Pluto, but as this year wears on, we're moving through the last of that conservative energy, and conservative meaning not a political statement, but are we able to sustain where we are? Are there chinks in our foundation? So we've been really working through this, and things that are the weak spots had been exposed to us. And so by now we should really have a clearer view of what isn't working in our foundations and what it is that we need to move forward into. So progressive energy now takes that place of that more conservative energy. And now conservative energy doesn't leave us completely, as in progressive energy doesn't just come in and hang out for a long time yet. It is that we are moving forward. Right? We're seeing how we can move forward. We're letting go of the old, the outdated, or the outmoded in favor of what is progressive, what is workable, what is new. And yet we still are holding on to a bit of that old. So we had a discussion about that yesterday, about taking the best of the past, the best of humanity's stories, and blending it with the highest and best of the future. Well, that's very, very much what we call progressiveness, right? Progressive energy, moving forward. But there's also a bit of rebellion in the air with this kind of energy. Uranus is a planet that is the rebel. He's the rebel with a cause, and his cause is about liberation, freeing you from your bondage. And what is part of our bondage here on this planet is the illusion that we are separate, the illusion that there isn't something bigger going on that is connecting us all together. And interesting, because today there's a lot of energy around finding that connection, this whole weekend really, about finding that connection. So rebellion is in the air as we attempt to cast off that old and the unfavorable or the unworkable energies. And what have we been able to identify collectively and individually as not working, not tenable, not wanting to continue forward with? Because today, tomorrow, and on through 2020, but predominantly as we move into 2021, will be this energy of excitement in building something for the future. So we are a go for liftoff, if you will. And have you noticed that all of the planets now are in forward motion? We don't have any major planets in retrograde. In fact, as I was looking, I think the only retrograde planet that I use in my charts is Sedna. And Sedna is a planet of maturing. She's what I think of when we have a connection that's unhealthy to our parents and we can't seem to cut that connection. Or by conversely, our parents have that connection to us and they can't seem to cut that cord. So Sedna really represents how the parent-child relationship has to mature and move on. Now that's literally the earthly dynamic, right, of parent and child. But on the bigger stage, in the bigger picture, it is our releasing and letting go of those old traditions and those old beliefs and patterns that have held us to only being able to move up to a certain level. So we are definitely lifting off, letting go, moving on, And Uranus, as the ruler of Aquarius, would also be the ruler of the Aquarian age. And traditionally, there was also Saturn that ruled the sign of Aquarius. Before there was a Uranus, we could only see out to the seventh planet, which was the planet Saturn. So Saturn ended up being the ruler of Uranus. So by tradition, we have a sort of constriction force, and by modern terms, we have this progressive force. So I think what we have then is that ability to move forward deliberately, right? To have a plan and to move forward with deliberation and to innovate with a purpose. And it's interesting to me because remember, one of the words that we were talking about for this week, it was anticipation. And the other word from the Earth at gate 31 was the word humility, right? Humility in leadership, right? Humility in our leaders. And I was thumbing through the news of the day, and there was an article in Bloomberg about leadership needed to take on a level of humility. We needed humility in our leaders. And I had that momentary thought, do those people listen to my show? Or do those people know about the Gene Keys or about the Human Design New Year? It was pretty freaking awesome when you start to see in the news the same words being reflected back at you that you've already been discussing in astrology. So if people out there think astrology isn't relevant or isn't something that's interesting or coherent, you've got another story coming to you, because inadvertently everybody out there is resonating with it, and I loved seeing that. Okay, so what do we have today then from the Pleiadian-Earth energy is 7 devoting energy. Devoting energy in the Mayan calendar was Ak, which was the dog. So you already get a feel of that camaraderie, of a group, of association, of loyalty energy. And indeed, we have that today involved in our regular experience with one another. But what is it that you're loyal to? And we're going to come back to that in just a minute. So the 7 energy. So remember, we talked about earlier in the week when we got to the 4-day, we talked about how the 1, the 2, and the 3, these were all creative energies, the energy of initiation, the energy of it splitting into duality, and then creative energy coming from that. And then the 4th energy, we come to sort of that foundation energy, a time for integration, right? A time for setting us up to be able to take in all of that and use it appropriately in our lives. Then we got into the 5 energy, which was change, and it was maybe surprises or the unexpected. And then we got into 6 energy yesterday, where it was about a flow and how we were meeting obstacles by going over, around, under, blowing it up, whatever we needed to do to move forward, because that flow energy brooks no argument, right? It just goes. And then today, we reach the 7 energy. Now, while the 7 energy isn't particularly integrative in its approach, it is very mystical. And in the book Pleiadian-Earth Energy, Pia Orleans describes it as a mystical doorway that is the halfway point between the energy of initiation, the 1, and the energy of completion, the 13. So we've reached this halfway point that's prompting us to look for those deeper truths, or the hidden knowledge that is, just there below the surface. But because we're so distracted and so busy in our day, we don't really listen to what's hidden. We don't really see the truth that's right in front of us. Instead, we have all of these other distraction truths that we, or these beliefs that we take as truth that aren't necessarily true. So an energy for a day like today, where we are greeted with this mystical doorway, is that our opportunity is to open up our eyes, our vision, and see with more than just the physical eyes, but also with our mystical eyes, right? Our third eyes. And so we're inspired today to step out of that illusion, out of what it is that believing that all that's true is what we can see, and stepping into something deeper, right? Into more of a cosmic truth. A cosmic truth would be a truth that's bigger, that's unifying, that has more truth built into it than any truth that we could make up as we go along, right? That we have a sense today, then we're merging worlds. We're merging that physical and and that mystical or that spiritual world. We're bringing them together. And this is an energy, of course, the seven is very mystical anyway in any tradition that you really look at. But this energy is universal energy. So no matter what life form we are on the planet, we're all in resonance with that sort of energy. And this is about healing the misconception then of duality as separateness. Because we took the energy of duality and we misunderstood it. We still misunderstand the energy of duality. We take it as separateness, that because of duality, we have, any number of problems of very big import on this planet. I would imagine that if there are other life forms in the universe, and I believe there are, that the one thing that would keep them moving through is their ability to heal that separation. And it's right here with the mystical doorway that's presented to us today in that seven energy. Now, devoting energy brings us waves. Maybe this was what I was feeling this morning. Waves of harmony, cooperation, prosperity, abundance. It's the moving into our energetic fields of this newer, cooperative, more fun-loving energy. And it is energy that can change the world. Devoting energy asks the question, what more is possible, right? What more is possible than what we believe is true right now? And it can change the world through its peaceful community building rather than dealing with separation and keeping people separate from one another. We see that so blatantly out in the world, don't we, in different ways, where there's this tool of separation where duality is being bastardized into something that it wasn't meant to be. And so then the question with this devoting energy is, what are you devoted to? Right? What are your loyalties? So choosing loyalty then should be an exercise that comes from the heart. I don't want to say it that way. Loyalty to truth would be the higher option, to the real truth, that cosmic truth, instead of what another person demands of you, what a society demands of you, a culture demands of you, right? This is using your own heart to determine what is it that is true to be loyal to, right? Instead of somebody outside of you demanding your loyalty. Sometimes this is a tool used by the patriarchy. They call it patriotism, right? You're not a patriot if you don't line up behind your party or your president or whatever it is, right? That's a big theme that's moving through our country here, the USA, and I would bet it's a theme that's moving through a lot of different places. What are you meant to be loyal to? So that's the question that we are presented with today. All right, I'm going to take a real quick look here and see if there are questions popping up. Rob, good morning to you. Val Jocelyn, good morning. And Jacqueline says, wow, my 2 Scorpio daughters felt it also. Yeah, I would really believe, because Scorpio is so in tune with those deeper hidden truths, with the energy field of the planet. Remember, the gate 41 even ties us to that morphogenetic field. So we are all more sensitive in a way to those energies, to that grid of potential, also the grid of the shadow. So we're what are we tapped into? Well, we're probably tapped into a whole lot more than we think we are. So cool. Allison, good morning to you. Camille says, I got that last night. I had to lie down. I feel better now. Wow. So I love it when you guys are able to validate that you're also feeling something, because it was weird to me to feel nauseous. I mean, obviously I'm not pregnant, right? Morning sickness well past my time. So I'm like, okay, what is this all about? Am I hungry? No, I'm not hungry. Am I sick? Am I coming down with something? And I tuned in. I'm like, no, I'm not. But I had to keep sitting down and resting this morning because that wave was rolling over me. So I'm glad others of you, I'm not glad that you all are feeling nauseous or sick or that, but that I'm not the only one. Marissa, good morning to you. And Vicky says it's a new moon too. Yep, that new moon. So, really right now we're in what is called the dark of that moon. It isn't new yet, right? We're still in that old moon, and the old moon then is still informing us. So that old moon was in Capricorn. And so maybe it's that Capricorn energy that that we're, maybe settling through our entire body so that we can finish with that in order to move on to the new moon in Aquarius. So that would make sense to me. Good morning, Flora. It's great to see you out there. And Allison, great to see you. She says, is this the couch auction? I love it. She says, just kidding. Happy Friday, everyone. New moon, new thoughts, indeed. Linda Dennis, good morning. Mary, good morning. Jacqueline says, hello, everyone who just came in. Happy new moon. Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel, good morning to you. Everybody, I love to see you all. Tom Wright says he's a rebel without applause. Love it. You guys are all so funny this morning. Judy Wheeler, yes, that gives me goosebumps. And Jacqueline says 20 people. Oops. Move away. 20 people here, and you're speaking a vision. I love it. Judy says, I can definitely feel this today. Just got goosebumps. Everybody, wow. To me, it feels like something bigger is going on. Indeed, that is kind of the thing. It's sort of a feeling, a mixture of anticipation, where you're kind of getting excited, and you've got maybe the butterflies in your tummy, or, the flutters. And then also there's a bit of fear that I can feel running in there as well, like fear of not knowing what comes next, maybe, or it's hard to qualify in words, but I can definitely qualify it as a feeling in my body, and that is of upset or of unsureness, right? Of not solidness. And yeah, I think that's Uranus really that can really kind of upset and create a pathway to anxiety, perhaps. It could even be the precursor to an anxiety sort of feeling or an anxious response. I don't feel it right now, so that's a good thing, right? It's just moved on through, but it's out there. Good morning, Rebecca. And Judy, I would keep seeing repeating numbers last night. I see them all the time in waves. Like I'll go for weeks and I won't see any, and then suddenly I'll be seeing them. And I noticed this morning 555, which is often changes are coming, etc. A few weeks ago, it was the numbers 1 and 111, 1111, kind of running through. Other times, like yesterday, what was it yesterday? Oh, I was in my astrology program that I use, and I was doing somebody's chart for 2020. And I reached the number 999. And of course, that means I'm going to have to delete some people because it only goes to 1,000. And I was just interested that I hadn't even been paying attention to how many numbers there were. And 999 isn't one that we would see on the clock. Usually, if I'm going to see that, I'm going to see it on a license plate maybe, or something, a truck number. But yesterday, right there in my face, 999, which kind of brings up endings, perhaps. I don't know. So we have a lot of fun stuff. Sarah Chenard, good morning. And Jacqueline says, it could be the last of us letting go of the old. Oh, if only, right? If only. We still need some of those people out there holding on to the resistance, though, because resistance creates energy for change. So we still need those that we can reduce that number, right? We only need a very small number of people out there holding on to that resistance of the old, or holding the resistance to something new, because the smaller number at least just creates the energy, right? The heat that creates the ability to change state. So that's going back to physics, right? Where you inject heat into something like an ice cube, right? In order to take an ice cube and turn it into water, what do we have to do? It has to melt, so we have to inject heat. The heat is the resistance. It meets the resistance in the molecules and begins a change of state. Same thing with water. If you want to turn water into vapor or gas or steam, you have to inject more heat. And when you put more heat in there, it encounters resistance, and then it changes state. So the heat is kind of the force of evolution in our lives, right? Or in our world. So the force of evolution is the heat that meets up with some resistance, and then eventually that resistance gives in to a change of state, i.e. the evolution of consciousness, right? Consciousness evolution, a leap forward in some way. So there are very scientific physical reasons why we have to have resistance, and that is the force of all of this evolutionary energy that's pushing us to move up, right? To move up, to expand, to grow. Debbie says, I don't feel the nausea, but I felt kind of tired and foggy. Yeah, I think that can also be a result of a lot of this energy, this high energy that's moving through the planet at the moment. So if you're tired, remember yesterday, we're still in it, right? The long void of course moon, where we were left with the moon in a conjunction to Saturn. And, that feels like maybe some people might be whiplashing into tiredness or exhaustion at this point. So, but Debbie, get some rest, because this weekend the energy is perking up. So I'm going to transition now over to Saturday. Wow, Saturday is Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year of the Rat. Those of you born in, 1948, 1960, 1972, and 84, and on, are all born in the year of the Rat. So this is your year. And I don't know much about Chinese New Year anything, but I was looking at what some of the energies were that were characteristic of this. It's optimistic, energetic. There are some stubborn kind of energies that go through a person that has the rat. They are, it seems like, really good people, clever, traditional in some ways. There's a story. What was it? I saw it in here. I'm looking at the page where I was looking up this energy. It's a story of the rat. The rat is the first of all of the zodiac animals in the Chinese Lunar New Year. And according to one myth, the Jade Emperor said the order would be decided by the order in which they arrived to his party. The rat tricked the ox into giving him a ride. Then, just as they arrived at the finish line, rat jumped down and landed ahead of ox, becoming first. So I love it, a mythology of the tortoise and the hare, right? It's kind of funny. And it's funny because I'm an ox. So I can see that kind of thing happening where I'm helping someone else. They get to the finish line first, and me, I'm left behind to come in second, which is fine too, right? Anyway, so the Chinese New Year tomorrow, the moon is in Aquarius still tomorrow. It is in a void, of course, from 11:07 a.m. my time. So 2:07 for you guys on the East Coast, until 3:44 p.m. or 6:44 p.m. on the 26th, on Sunday. So we have another fairly long void of course moon, after which the moon will move into the sign of Pisces, changing up the energy to more imaginative, creative, delusional, illusory energy in Pisces. The last aspect that the moon will make before moving into the void is a conjunction to Mercury in Aquarius. So we are left then with quick energy, right? Our minds moving quickly, sharing ideas and inspiration with other people, communication, Mercury, right? Emotional communication even, but with an edge to it, right? Because we're still, the moon is still a little bit there in Aquarian energy, and it's still in its new phase. So it's still bringing us that idea of motion and movement forward. And it's also about walking your talk, right? Walking your talk, talking your walk, putting your ideas in motion, right? So right now, the new moon, later today, opening that doorway, that gateway to something new that we want to manifest in our lives by setting a powerful intention to do something or to be something or to attract something. And tomorrow's energy says, put it in motion. Don't just sit there looking at it. Do something about it, right? Tomorrow also, Mercury is in a sextile to Mars. And I had to actually look this one up because I thought maybe there's something I'm missing about this energy, because to me it was about mental busyness. But there's also something I often overlook with Mars, and it's the energy of initiative, right? Taking the initiative, starting something, right? Initiating something. So here tomorrow is this not only about walking your talk and putting your ideas in motion, but taking a stand for your personal beliefs, standing up to be counted, right? It gives us the inner confidence, if you will, to take advantage of the opportunities that are showing up in your world. Where before you might have had these opportunities, but you held yourself back. Maybe you didn't have that confidence or that self-worth that you could do this or that you could be this. But all things are new here this weekend. New moon, new Chinese year. We're still in the shadow of the new human design year. So everything is possible. Take advantage of it. Success is like right there, just in your reach. Right? And, success isn't about making more money. Really, success is about what level at which you can express your genius or your brilliance in the world. I hope that makes sense to people. I know sometimes we think often about success as being monetary or climbing the corporate ladder and being somebody of import. But how limiting is that, right? How limiting is that? That means that not everybody can be at the top of the corporate ladder. Not everybody can be billionaires, although I would like to try that one day. But does that mean that all of the rest of us aren't successful? No, not at all. So we got to redefine what success means. And success may be you just taking that first step in a new direction, right? That's all. It doesn't have to be something big and splashy, but it's likely going to be something that you've been wanting to do, maybe taking a step towards your dream. And the first step is the hardest. After that, all the steps after that become a lot easier, right? You've already got momentum, right? All you need is the momentum. Once you have overcome the inertia of rest, then you have momentum. And even if you come against obstacles, we already know what to do with obstacles, right? Go over, go around them, go under them. Maybe stop and consider, what is this obstacle showing me before I plow through it, that kind of thing. So we're sitting at the crux, it feels like, of almost like at the edge of a precipice, right? We just need someone to push us over just a little bit so that we can launch into something new. The energy tomorrow through the Pleiadian calendar also shows us this, as we are moving into the 8 energy tomorrow. The 8 is about connection and how we are connected via our heart energies to one another. And it's the energy of abundance. Love energy, right? Remember I showed you the picture of the 8, the infinity symbol. If you lay it on its side, it's tied at the center. That's you and me connected by heart. And that's what the 8 mirrors us, mirrors that love of one another when we are heart-centered and not into the energy of separation or that duality. When we're using duality correctly, then we're all mirrors to each other of the highest and best, right? The highest and the best. And of course, abundance here. Now, the earth energy tomorrow is illuminating energy. Illuminating, which is always takes me to the number 11, the double ones, where we have that light pouring in, showing us something. This is the energy of curiosity and creativity. It is joy, healing our imbalances, where we're out of alignment, and where we find that joy and happiness aren't the end result. It is already anchored within us, that we just somehow move out of it from time to time. And then we remember it and we come back to it. Illuminating energy is often a day of political or personal drama, especially if we are identifying with the illusion. So in whatever world you're in, there's this play going on, right? And you're part of the play. And there are other plays going on, other dramas. I think Shakespeare would really appreciate the world that we're in at the moment, as he would see everything as a play and everybody is a player in it. And this is all a stage with a major drama going on. It begs us to go deeper into that collective illusion so that we can awaken, right? We can awaken to the true reality, that the more you look into that illusion, the more wavy it gets, the less real it really looks like, the more ridiculous it seems out there. So we're awakening to our true reality. And again, that question that I already asked you once, what more is possible, right? This can't be all there is. This crazy political drama, the crazy personal dramas that we are so drawn to, right? Why are we drawn to drama? And ask that question, what more is possible? What would we spend our time on if we weren't tracing down, tracking down, engaging in all of the drama. Be authentic. Tomorrow's a day to really find your true north, your true self, and be authentic, allowing the light to come in, to pierce through some of that Maya, we call it, or the illusion. Not Maya like the Native American, Mexican American, not that, the Maya, M-A-Y-A, that is a representation of the illusion, the darkness in our illusion. So we are shining the spotlight, right? That illumination there. All right, checking again for comments. Many countries, nations other than China use this lunar calendar. Yeah, a lot of cultures and civilizations through time have used a lunar calendar as opposed to a solar calendar. And a lot of those same cultures had a solar calendar as well, but again, it was more for taxation purposes, planting purposes, agriculture, business, commerce. The lunar calendar was how they lived their divine life, right? Their spiritual life. So the sun, it's kind of interesting because if you think about that, the sun is then the representation of our ego or our outer worldly life, while the moon is leading us into our more spiritual or divine life. So it's interesting just to look at it as in the calendars that we choose really show us where our emphasis is. And the fact that we've been using this stupid Gregorian calendar forever shows how mechanical and mechanistic that we've gotten in our mindset, how we've released spirituality and our divine selves and scattered it so much to the wind that we can only really see the real. So we're having to bring in, remember I said yesterday, bringing in that mystical, that magical, and that mythical, right? The mythical and the magical that we released is the void that we're feeling. It's the hole that we're feeling. And we fill up that hole with a whole bunch of different things, right? Television or the news or food or sex or drugs or alcohol. There are a lot of things that we're filling it in because we have lost a part of ourselves. Right? We've lost a part of ourselves. We tried to recuperate or recapture, not recuperate. We tried to recapture some of that through religion, but religion fails miserably because it's a dogma. It's not inclusive, it's exclusive. So we have to fill that void with something bigger, with maybe love. That would be a good thing to fill that hole with, right? That void, let's fill it with love. Right? The love of one another, the love of self, the love of spirit, all that's unseen, and then the love of the physical as well. We don't want to, brush that off. We want the love of all of it. And basically, I've just described your identity center in your human design chart, right? The identity center brings us back to all of that, reminds us that we are beings built on love energy and that this universe is really driven with love energy. And it's only the illusion that we are separate. It is only the illusion that we are in that opposite state of hate or anger or separation. So we can change all of that, right? Damn right, I'm ox, dirty rat. Oh, Tom, that's right. 1961. If you were born in 1961, you were in the year of the ox, as well as 1985, and then also 1949. So if I look at the 70s, was there anybody in the 70s? What, add 12 to 1973. So 73, 61, 85, and 97, I think. So, okay. Anyway, carrying on. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Janice. Good morning, Kristen. Kathy Miller says, good morning, wonderful day. It's always a wonderful day. I love how you're always so upbeat and love how you are always caring for your grandchildren. I love that. And you too, Debbie. I any of you out there who are grandparents, and you just know what that special love is. Val says she's feeling inspired. Judy says that's so awesome for tomorrow. So true. And Christine Erickson, good morning from Sweden. Well, I guess it would be your good afternoon. For us, it's good morning. Debbie Tibbetts, 1954 was the year of the horse, a power animal. And Kathy Miller is an ox. If you were born in 1949, you would be an ox. Yes, 49, 61, and 73. It's hard to add all of those up. But anyway, Colleen says, my son is a rat, so he's having a good year. This is his new year, if you will. Judy says, I wonder what mine is for 1956. Let me see if it said here. How did I know that I was in the ox year? Well, I mean, I've always known that, but I'm sure somewhere on some site you can find that out. No, it doesn't say on this one page that I was going on. Oh, here, calendar? Maybe the calendar says. No. Oh, wait, here we go. Nope, that's the whole year. Wow, there's a whole lot to this. Okay, well, I'll look at that later and see if I can't find that for you. Or Judy, just, go on and say what Chinese year was 1956 or something, and hopefully they can find that for you. Jacqueline says, I'm a fuzzy bunny rabbit. Love it. Colleen, this year is metal rat. Each sign comes around with an element. Yes, indeed, that's true. And I was looking at that as well because of, let me go back. Oh, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. But anyway, there's metal and wood and water and air, I think. There's different elements associated with the being of a rat that moves in different cycles. So it's actually like a 60-year cycle. That's how long it takes for the rat to come back in the same element. So when you have your 60th birthday, you're actually coming back into the Chinese lunar animal or zodiac and the same element that it was when you were born. So interesting that. Debbie, snake here. I love it. Allison says 1970 was metal dog equals loyalty. Love that. Bobby Knight, welcome. I was feeling sad, so I started playing Go Fish. My cards told me I'm going to go on a fishing trip. Irony, love it. Angela, good morning. And Judy Wheeler says, okay. 1956 is the monkey. Oh, Angela, thank you for looking that up. So there you go, Judy. You are a monkey. And Alice says 56 was fire monkey, so creative monkey. And Jacqueline Lopez has put in a link that tells you what the years are. That you put that in, Jacqueline? Or do you want me to do that later? I can do that later. And fire tiger for me, my daughter is an earth rat. Earth rat. Love it. Okay, so we have a lot of people that do know what they are. I think I was a metal ox. It seems like metal, or was it wood? No, I think it was metal. But thank you all for looking that up for everyone. And Colleen says it's like a Saturn return. Indeed, it's exactly like that, Colleen. Good call. And it's it's like a Saturn return. It's as complicated as the astrology we do here. Definitely it is. But I would bet we would find so many similarities, right? We'd be able to draw those parallels between that, because I've never yet gotten interested in an astrology and pursued it and not found the commonalities, right? The things that are coherent through each of the systems. That happened to me when I moved from numerology to astrology. It happened when I went from astrology to human design. And of course, gene keys also brought that in. Mayan astrology, Pleiadian astrology, all of these things seem to be these coherent systems. So I would fully expect the Chinese astrology to be the same. Different, a little bit different, but coming to the same conclusions. Bobby Knight, Shock the Monkey, another irony. Oh, too funny. That's funny. How can I find out the element? I think you could probably just Google what element was monkey in year that you were born. Finding that. Okay, get out of there. Oh, somebody did post a link to Chinese New Year 2020. That's exactly the site that I was on, Allison. That's too funny. And Sherry Davis, good morning. So, okay, so we've got a lot of information out there on the Chinese New Year. Go look it up. See how it compares to your astrology, because that's kind of fun. It's funny because when I found out I was an ox, and something about the ox that it was stubborn And people had always told me that I was stubborn, and I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm determined. Never mind that those things are kind of related. I didn't want to take on stubborn, but I certainly wanted determined and perseverant. Colleen says, yes, lots of common things. I've been doing Qigong and taking Tao classes. She throws astrology in. And Camille, metal ox between 215.61 and 24.62. I too am a metal ox. Let's hear it from metal oxes. There's at least a few of us I know, because Londa, who joins us, is a metal ox. You are one, then Camille. I'm one. Tom's one. All of us born right through that year of 1961. Judy Wheeler says thank you. Okay, good. So let's take on Sunday before I run out of time to do a couple of card readings. Sunday, very quickly, is a day the moon will move into Pisces, not until 3:44 in the afternoon, my time, 6:44 p.m. for you all on the East Coast. So most of the day we are left with that Mercury moon energy. So we're still conversing, we're still with high energy. Our minds are quick. We're looking for ideas. We're inspired. Maybe even a little bit of optimism there as we're forward faced, right? We're using that January face, that Janus face that faces forward to the future. So after the void is over, the moon will become sextile to Uranus. And that's good. It'll take it out of the square that was happening earlier with the sun and the moon at the new moon. And maybe we'll be surprised by some creative inspiration or some solutions to problems we've been dealing with, right? There's also Venus squaring Mars on Sunday. And this is the one little monkey wrench that might blow things up, because it exposes hidden tensions within your relationships, primarily the relationship between your spouse and you, or your significant other and you, but other relationships as well. Business partnerships might also have these hidden tensions that come up to the surface. Venus squaring Mars is like that, right? It kind of shows us the weak spots there. It's also very physical and sexual energy, so it's vastly creative. That kind of energy prompts us to go out and do, to create, to have sex, to express that part of that physicality, being physical. So it's a great day to be physical and to get out there into the physical world. And it is the balancing of our personal masculine and our personal feminine, exposing us to where we might be out of balance with that. And this is very much attraction energy, but without the staying power. So if you're out and about and you are attracted to someone, that attraction may be very short-lived, right? And if you act on that attraction, and this is primarily sexual attraction, if you're acting on that attraction and you might think this is something that's going to take you somewhere, it really doesn't have that kind of staying power. It's mostly in the physical. So while you may be physically attracted to one another, is there a connection there between you besides that? That is the question that comes up for Venus squaring Mars on Sunday. All right. So not a bad weekend at all, right? Not a bad weekend. I think it's very creative. It's very fun. It seeks on actually the Pleiadian-Earth energy that day is 9 choosing energy. And choosing energy is related to Shuen in the Mayan calendar, which was monkey. And monkey energy is humor. It's playful. It's kind of mischievous. It doesn't take things very seriously. So Sunday's probably a day not to take things too serious, right? To just sort of choose what it is that you want to be in energetic relationship with. All right. Okay, so now I'm ready to do a couple of readings. Allison would, so hold on, I'm going to start writing notes here. So Debbie's asking for a card reading. Debbie Tibbetts Tumiel. I got to put that in there because we got a couple Debbies here this morning. Allison would like me to pull a card for the collective animal. Okay, collective. Allison, I will do that because I love that. Collective animal. And Camille says, love, quiet, steadfast, methodical, and can tolerate difficulties. Ox people are hardworking and down to earth. Oh, yeah. Debbie Hedden says, I would like a card of your choice. So the Debbies are out there this morning. And Val says a card, Val J. And Jacqueline, time to look for a honey Honey boo. Definitely, but be very careful. If it's only physical attraction, it's short-lived. Jacqueline Tyler, hi. And she says, all my fellow viewers, she's saying hello to you all out there. I am here, but I'm not getting any audio. I wonder what the deal is there. Allison, FYI, it is forbidden to sweep or clean on Chinese New Year Day. You will sweep good fortune away. That's a good excuse not to clean house, to get out and do something with people. Clean your house today so that you can entertain tomorrow. All right. If it's not too much, Judy would like a card. Judy W. And of my choice, I like that. And a Woto for Angela. All right. I'm going to Woto. And Tom, if I can get to you, an animal. Rebecca would love a Woto. Oh boy, I better get moving here, huh? All right, I'm going to just tell you this. If we have too many people that get stories today, then we might have to cut the number of card readings that we can do. But let's see what we can do here. Debbie, I'm going to pull you a Woto. Debbie Tibbetts, 2-meal, that is. Okay, so, and then I didn't scroll further down, but maybe there's somebody else that wanted one, and I'll try to get to as many as I can. I have about 10 minutes. I always say that, and then I go way over, and before I know it, it's 9:15. Okay, so Debbie Tibbetts' 2-meal is Y, and it's card 31, which is a 4, and it's in protection, so it's upside down. It makes me think of why ask why. So let's see what that means for you, Debbie. 31, Y. And the basic meaning, the essential meaning of the card is motives, driving intention, the power of knowing the why. But in protection, it says sometimes subconsciously denying the truth may drive you toward a specific outcome that actually aligns with an intention hidden from your awareness. For example, you might want to be prominent in your profession, but your desire is not really about sharing your talents, but about making yourself feel better because fame would cause people to admire and approve of you. Or you may want to reunite with a partner who rejected you because you believe that your love continues to be strong, but deep down what you really desire is to have the last word with that person. Now is the time for deep soul searching of the why that drives your choices. What you uncover will set you free and bring you ever closer to the happiness you seek. I think that's a pretty good card, though, Deb. Okay, Allison would like me to draw a collective animal card. So here we go. This is for the collective, for all of us. And then, Allison, I'm also going to draw you one. So let's see here. I've got a collective animal card. I love these animal cards. And oh, we got 2. So one's for you, Allison, and one is for the collective. The collective is giraffe spirit. See the big picture. That seems very new moon in Aquarius-like, doesn't it? See the big picture. And for you, it is otter spirit. You are never alone. Card number 42, and it was upside down, so it's in protection. But look at the little otter. Isn't that just adorable? We see otter here where I live. In fact, I was driving one day just down the road here, and 2 of them chased each other across the street from one end of there's a slough, which is just like feeding a river, and they were playing in the water there, and they ran across the road and down into the river on the other side, or the slough on the other side. They're just so cute to watch play. Okay, so the collective giraffe spirit, 29, helps if you use the right book. Okay, and that one was upright, so it says, see the big picture. Giraffes stretch upward to reach the treetops and look down from a high vantage point. When giraffe spirit appears, it is a sign to observe from a higher view. In all aspects of your life, it's time to stretch your neck out and broaden your view, open your eyes to see what others are experiencing, and see the big picture you fit into. No matter how great your wisdom, knowledge, or experience, you don't want to overlook details and connections that will help you better understand yourself and your circumstances. So stretch yourself, look beyond what catches your attention at eye level, and know that everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Let me reread that whole sentence. Look beyond what catches your attention at eye level and know that not everything is as obvious as you might like it to be. Spirit will bestow upon you a new perspective that might make all the difference. Wow, that's so in line with everything we talked about this morning. I love it when that happens. And then for you personally, Miss Allison, it is Otter Spirit that says you are never alone. And in protection, it says, have you been channeling all your affection to just one person or counting on only one friend or individual to hold you up, heedless of your resources all around you? You deserve support and love from many people. And when Otter Spirit arrives, you are reminded that you have a community. Somewhere is another friend who wants to experience the joy of giving to you and seeing your happiness as you receive their gift of attention, affection, and kindness. Otter Spirit wants you to open your eyes to see the love that is available to you from all directions. Do you believe it? Do you feel it? Reach out to someone and you will see that they want to hold your hand as much as you want to hold theirs. Love, support, and friendship are available to you. So connect with community and friends. Get out there, girl. Get dressed up and go out. All right. Okay, after Debbie, Allison, then we have Debbie Hedden. And Debbie, I don't remember if you asked me for a specific deck. I didn't write it down. Dang it, Debbie Hedden. I would like a card of your choice. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Wisdom of the Oracle for you. And I didn't open the Goddess cards, but we could do those too. But I just feel like the Wisdom of the Oracle holds your message, Debbie Hedden. And that message is Treasure Island in reverse or upside down. It is card number 9. Look at that, Treasure Island. It is a treasure box on top of the back of a turtle. The turtle acts as an island. And it was also in protection. And card number 9, maybe something's ending. It is, the essential meaning is the law of attraction, bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere, financial gains, and the sharing of good fortune. Ooh, gotta love that one. In protection, it says poverty, consciousness, and a sense of not enough cast a shadow on your path. These ideas and core beliefs come with a high cost. Do you really want to proclaim yourself a victim of disappointment and failed expectations? Are you avoiding success because you will grow so tall that others will want to cut you down? Or is it possible that you're caught in a fear that you will lose what you have acquired, so you hold on so tight that you miss the opportunities to expand? You are challenged to change the way you see the world and move from a perception of limitations to a perception of abundance. Take a risk, for you have nothing to lose except your confinement in a prison of your own making. Isn't that true for all of us? Open the door and find the abundance waiting for you to claim it. I think that's a great message, Debbie. Val J, a card of my choice. I'm actually going to dig out the goddesses for you, Val. And gotta wait a minute because I should just take the deck out of here, but I like the box that they're in. And they're very protected in here, except when I throw it across the room. Okay, so these are the goddess cards. And let's see what they say for you. So this is for you, Val. We haven't used these as often, but I like this deck. And here the messages are of, I'll have to look it back up again. Val, you have 2. You have Rhea, which represents flow. There she is in all of her gorgeousness. I love, she's got that warrior sort of painted across her forehead, that blue. 43 is a 7. And then we also have Ellen, E-L-E-N, which is about patterns. And she was upside down, and she's card number 12. So let's see what that message is. So what was the first one? 43. Alrighty. So Rhea, so in upright, it is an empowerment message, and upside down, it's an alignment message. So you have an alignment, empowerment message from Rhea. It says, do you notice how when you're in alignment with the universe, everything in your life just seems to flow? The Greek goddess Rhea, whose very name means flow and ease, comes to let you know that you're entering such a time. While the flow state is not permanent for most people, it's a beautiful feeling that allows you to lose yourself in the rhythm. It's as if you're traveling down a magic stream where ideas and insights pour through you from a vast source of information that is gifted to you. The way to ensure you remain in this beautiful energy as long as you can is to observe your life with relaxed attention, listening to the guidance presented to you as you move forward without restraint or fixed ideas. You can enter a flow state anytime you're willing to release your expectations. It requires trust, and the goddess Rhea ensures your boat will never capsize as you move from a slow stream to a rapid river. Ooh, love it. And then Ellen is card number 12, and she was in an alignment message for you, or she has an alignment message for you. Familiar patterns show up when you fall asleep at the wheel of your life or when you expect things to be a certain way out of habit. Whatever conditions are recurring for you right now, you are being invited to see them as an opportunity to move beyond the limits of your expected disappointment or habitual behavior. If you do what you have always done, then you expect the same patterns to continue. Makes sense? If you don't want to repeat a lesson or find yourself back on the same path with the same people in the same conditions and results, then you must choose to think, do, and be different. Ellen of the Ways offers this alignment task. Make a commitment to change your way and choose to allow for new paths to be explored. It's time to take a look at your need to always wonder if the other shoe will drop and how you remain in familiar territory, although you're not content. Ellen will show you the way out. You just need to want to follow. Great. That's perfect for this weekend too. Perfect, perfect. So that was you, Val. Next was Angela, and Angela wanted a Woto, which I put the goddess deck on top of. Here we go. So this is for you, Angela. Oh, wow. Did you see that? Those just blew out for you. And they were both upside down, but one says tick-tock, card number 30. Tick-tock, it looks like it's time for something, right? Tick-tock, upside down. And happy, happy is the other card. Happy, happy, and she was also upside down, but she's an 8. 8, so heart connection, right? So let's see what these two mean. The first one was 30. TikTok says timelessness, divine timing, and immeasurable time. And the protection message here is, have you been feeling as if the clock is ticking and gotten a little nervous about your dreams are taking too long to manifest? There is nothing to fear. You will never run out of time for the important things. The miracles that are yours and yours alone cannot be missed. Isn't that amazing? You're in such capable hands with guides and angels hovering in the invisible spaces, ensuring that your journey will be filled with all sorts of goodies. Let your anxiety be gently dispelled by your faith. Spirit will never deny you your highest good. All is yours in divine, appropriate timing. You can relax. And then happy, happy, card 26. We haven't gotten that one, I don't think, very often. I remember Linda, you got it one time, Linda Dennis. So happy, happy's meaning is joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well, but also in protection. So it says lighten up, because this is a time to be ridiculous and silly. See the world through the eyes of a clown, and don't take yourself or any situation right now too seriously. Have fun, be playful, and make laughter the order of the day. You'll be surprised how everything just seems to fall into place when humor leads the way. Being happy and lighthearted is a wonderful icebreaker. Life is meant for play as well as work, for laughter as well as tears, for celebration as well as focus. Spirit wants to sparkle through you today. Smile and enjoy each breath and each moment. Miracles lie in the silly things today. That's a great message too. I mean, who doesn't like that kind of a message, right? Okay, let's see. Who was next? Tom, and Tom wanted an animal. So let me switch decks here, Tom. This card is for you. And the animal cards. This one doesn't want to go away. It is Hummingbird. Hummingbird Spirit says, be here now. It is number 34, which is the 7. That goes right along with the energy of the day, right? The 7 in the Pleiadian energies. And it is the next tattoo I'm going to get on this side because I love hummingbirds. My favorite little bird. Okay, except I like all animals, but I love the hummingbird. Hummingbird Spirit says, be here now. The hummingbird's wings beat so swiftly it can hover in seeming stillness as it drinks deeply from a flower. Hummingbird Spirit comes to remind you that the beauty and sweetness of life is in the eternal now, the timeless present. Here and now, you are becoming the person you wish to be, to have the experiences you wish to have. Focus your energy on the flower before you, for what you desire is being provided. Yes, there are blossoms everywhere. The choices can be dazzling. Hummingbird Spirit's message is that you have no need to go about in search of something better, for all that you require and desire is before you. You will know this as you become still, feeling your connection to Spirit, who loves you unconditionally and will always provide for you. Great message for all of us. Good one, Tom. Rebecca Woto. And I think this will have to be the last one. It's getting after 10 or after 9 here. And I have a client at 10 something this morning. So I've got to go. All right, so this is for you, Rebecca. Oh, and I see it's wanting to come up. I don't know if it's you that's gotten this card before, but lately this one seems to be gracing us with her appearance, and it's called the Fates. Card number 12. So, I'm sorry. Card 17, which is an 8, right? 8, the Fates, but in protection. So let's see what that means. I think we had it in protection before. So fascinating when cards come up like that. 17, the Fates. Fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. And it says, it is difficult to understand why painful things happen to good people. Fate is a mystery after all. Yet what we do with our circumstances, the way in which we respond to life's challenges, is how we rise up to greet our destiny. Now is one of those times to be aware of your powerlessness to change certain situations and surrender to acceptance. Hang in there. Life will only get better. Act as if you believe that, for the only thing you can control right now is your attitude. When you align with the Fates, being mindful of what you can and cannot change, serenity will come to you. Sort of sounds like the serenity prayer. All right. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you today, but you know, you guys can get these decks. This is Wisdom of the Oracle, and you can do your own oracle readings, right? It's nice to have someone else do that for you too, but and I always like to have someone else pull cards for me personally, but you can do them yourself as well. So hopefully everybody gets a deck of cards and can do their own readings. For me, that's it for today. There's a lot of other comments here that I haven't been able to get to. I will read through them after a little bit later on today. So thank you everybody for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy new moon. Happy new lunar Chinese lunar year. And I'll see you on Monday morning. Bye for now.